Joe Biden Marine speech. Let's see what's going on. I'm saying. No, I'm saying. Where's the full thing? Okay. President Joe Biden gives prime time speech on battle for soul of the nation. Okay. When does it start? Independence Hall, Philadelphia. Content. Damn, they're dropping the best music they have left. This is that Independence type beat. Where's Mr. President, bro? Señor Presidento. It's giving me like classical America type vibes. Is Mr. Presidento gonna come out? Like, where's the Mr. Presidento, bro? Like, that's what we're watching for. Oh, look at that. Damn. Do they have to stand there for his whole speech? Imagine. I mean, it's lit. I mean, that's like
the President of the United States and Dr. Jill Biden.
That's like something you can show your family and shit forever, that you stood in the background, but like do they have to stand there for half an hour at attention? Shit would be too legendary. Is there a crowd watching?
My fellow Americans, please, if you have a seat, take it. I speak to you tonight from sacred ground in America.
Does he have COVID, bro? Why is he coughing like that?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Why are you coughing like that?
This is where America made its declaration of independence to the world more than 2 centuries ago with an idea unique among nations, that in America, we're all created equal. This is where the United States Constitution was written and debated. This is where we set in motion.
Get into a little bit of nation-state mythology. That's cool.
Extraordinary experiment of self-government the world has ever known. With 3 simple words: we the people. We the people. These 2 documents and the ideas they embody, equality and democracy, are the rock upon which this nation is built. They're how we became the greatest nation on earth. They're why, for more than 2 centuries, America has been a beacon to the world. But as I stand here tonight, equality and democracy are under assault. We do ourselves no favor to pretend otherwise. So tonight, I've come to this place where it all began to speak as plainly as I can.
Is it really the
to
same
nation
building? Has it been maintained the whole time?
about the threats we face, about the power we have in our own hands to meet these threats, and about the incredible future that lies in front of us if only we choose it.
If
Let's
only.
never forget, we the people are the true heirs of the American experiment
Yo, Mr. Biden
that
is
began
quite
more than 2
quiet.
centuries ago. We the people have burning inside of each of us the flame of liberty that was lit here at Independence Hall. A flame that lit our way through abolition, the Civil War, suffrage, the Great Depression, world wars, civil rights. That sacred flame still burns. Now in our time,
Wait,
as we
did you
build an
forget to
America that is
mention
more
the
prosperous,
Revolutionary War?
free, and just.
Isn't that part of the mythology?
That is the work of my presidency.
At least in the narrative.
A
that
mission
fighting
I
free from
believe in
the United
with
Kingdom.
my whole soul.
It's a good part of that.
But first, we must be honest with each other and with ourselves. Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Now, I want to be very clear up front. Not every Republican, not even the majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans. Not every Republican embraces their extreme ideology. I know.
That is okay. I was gonna say that's God tier centrism, but then I thought, no, it's God tier copium.
Because I've been able to work with these mainstream Republicans. But there's no question
Oh,
that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country. These are hard things. But I'm an American president, not a president of
God-tier
red
copium.
America or blue America,
that is too
but of all
good.
America. And I believe it's my duty to level with you, to tell the truth, no matter how difficult, no matter how painful. And here, in my view, is what is true. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election. And they're working right now, as I speak, in state after state, to give power to decide elections in America to partisans and cronies, empowering election deniers to undermine democracy itself. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, no right to marry who you love. They promote authoritarian leaders, and
I think he's alluding to the chance that the Supreme Court will review the premise for protected interracial marriage, right? He's alluding to the Supreme Court's willingness to at least review it. Whether they'll overturn it or not is a different issue. So I think he's being a little bit extra here, to be honest.
fan the
but
flames of political violence
I actually like it.
that are a threat to our personal rights,
The presidents are growing
to the
on me.
pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country. They look at the mob that stormed the United States Capitol on January 6th,
Good.
brutally attacking law enforcement, not as insurrectionists.
I mean, he's right,
placed a
but
dagger at the throat of our democracy,
like I feel like
They look at him as
Democrats need to get
patriots.
over that a little bit.
and they see their MAGA failure to stop a peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election as preparation for the 2022 and 2024 elections. They tried everything last time to nullify the votes of 81 million people. This time, they're determined to succeed in thwarting the will of the people. That's why respected conservatives like Federal Circuit Court Judge Michael Luttig has called Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans, quote, a clear and present danger to our democracy.
I think the nice thing about Mr. Biden is that he's like doing this thing where it's like not all conservatives are evil, so it's kind of good because he's like respected conservative judges, so he can win. He's winning the bipartisan ground. I actually like it.
But while the threat to American democracy is real,
It wins the ground with me too, personally.
I want to say as clearly as we can, we are not powerless in the face of these threats. We are not bystanders in this ongoing attack on democracy. There are far more Americans from every background and belief who reject the extreme MAGA ideology than those that accept it. And folks, it's within our power, it's in our hands, yours and mine, to stop the assault on American democracy. I believe America is at an inflection point, one of those moments that determine the shape of everything that's to come after. And now, America must choose to move forward or to move backwards, to build a future or obsess about the past, to be a nation of hope and unity and optimism, or a nation of fear, division, and of darkness. MAGA Republicans have made their choice. They embrace anger. They thrive on chaos. They live not in the light of truth, but in the shadow of lies. But together we can choose a different path. We can choose a better path forward to the future. A future of possibility, a future to build and dream and hope. And we're on that
It's
path
actually
moving
legendary
ahead.
that those two Marines have
I
stood
know
there
this
perfectly
nation.
still this
I
whole
know
time.
you, the American people.
It's actually so
I know your
impressive.
courage. I know your hearts. And I know our history. This is a nation that honors our Constitution. We do not reject it. This is a nation that believes in the rule of law.
You gotta be careful there, because one of the mainstream Democrat goals is to actually get like something like a constitutional convention, right? So when, like, he's playing a little bit fast
We
and
do
loose
not
with some
repudiate
things,
it.
but I like the
This
ideal.
is a nation that respects free and
Like the
fair
effort.
elections. We honor the will of the people. We do not deny it. And this is a nation that rejects violence as a political tool. We do not encourage violence.
Oh no, South America. Oh no. Don't ask Iran. Don't ask the Islamic Republic of Iran what they think of that statement. Don't ask South America.
We are still an America that believes in honesty and decency and respect for others. Patriotism, liberty, justice for all, hope, possibilities. We are still, at our core, a democracy. And yet,
We are at least a democratic nation, yeah, democracy.
history tells us that blind loyalty to a single leader and a willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy. For a long time, we've told ourselves that American democracy is guaranteed, but it's not. We have to defend it, protect it, stand up for it, each and every one of us. That's why tonight, I'm asking our nation to come together, unite behind the single purpose of defending our democracy regardless of your ideology. We're all called by duty and conscience to confront extremists who put their own pursuit of power above all else. Democrats, independents, mainstream Republicans, we must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy than MAGA Republicans are to destroying American democracy. We, the people, will not let anyone or anything tear us apart. Today, there are dangers around us we cannot allow to prevail. We here, you've heard it, more and more talk about violence as an acceptable political tool in this country. It's not. It can never be an acceptable tool.
W.
So I want to say this plain and simple. There is no place for political violence in America, period.
W.
None, ever.
That's a good position to have. That's a good. He's gonna win a lot of bipartisan ground with that one.
We saw law enforcement brutally attacked on January the 6th. We've seen election officials, poll workers, many of them volunteers of both parties, subject to intimidation and death threats. And can you believe it? FBI agents, just doing their job as directed, facing threats to their own lives from their own fellow citizens. On top of that, there are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets. This is inflammatory. It's dangerous. It's against the rule of law. And we, the people, must say, this is
Bro's
not
getting a little
who
bit European.
we are.
That's against the rule of law.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can't be pro-insurrectionist and pro-American. They're incompatible. We can't allow violence to be normalized in this country. It's wrong. We each have to reject political violence with all the moral clarity and conviction this nation can muster. Now, we can't let the integrity of our elections be undermined, for that is a path to chaos. Look, I know politics can be fierce and mean and nasty in America. I get it. I believe in the give and take of politics, in disagreement and debate and dissent. We're a big, complicated country. But democracy endures only if we, the people, respect the guardrails of the republic. Only if we, the people, accept the results of free and fair elections. Only if we, the people, see politics not as total war, but mediation of our differences. Democracy cannot survive when one side believes there are only two outcomes to an election. Either they win or they were cheated. And that's where the MAGA Republicans are today. They don't understand what every patriotic American knows. You can't love your country only when you win. It's fundamental.
True. He's not wrong.
American democracy only works only if we choose to respect the rule of law and the institutions that were set up in this chamber behind me. Only if we respect our legitimate political differences. I will not stand by and watch. I will not, the will of the American people, be overturned by wild conspiracy theories and baseless evidence.
You know, a few political pundits, like I think Ben Shapiro did a video where he's like, Joe Biden was moving mad at this speech, but like so far this has been pretty like normal, bro. Like I was expecting to react to some
I will
crazy
not stand
shit.
by
This
and
is
watch
just normal.
elections in this country stolen by people who
He's
simply
just
refuse
chilling.
to accept
He
that
hasn't said
they
anything
lost.
controversial yet. The only thing like
I will
crazy
not
about this
stand
is the
by and
Marines
watch
who haven't
the most
moved yet.
fundamental
They're just
freedom
still
in
just
this
standing
country,
there.
the freedom to vote and have your vote counted and be taken from you and the American people. Look, as your president, I will defend our democracy with every fiber of my being, and I'm asking every American to join me. Throughout our history, America has often made the greatest progress coming out of some of our darkest moments, like your hearings at Bullhorn. I believe we can and must do that again, and we are. MAGA
What are they
Republicans
screaming
look
in the
at America.
background? Like you're hearing in that bullhorn? Wait, what's going on?
It's like you're hearing that. As your president, I will defend our democracy with
What
every.
is that?
Throughout our history, America has often made the greatest progress coming out of some of our darkest moments, like you're hearing that bullhorn. I believe we can and must do that again.
I can't make
And we
out.
are.
Is someone like yelling something? Is that
MAGA
actually a
Republicans
bullhorn?
look
Or
at
blowhorn,
America and
rather?
see carnage and darkness and despair.
Is someone just
They spread
making a lot of
fear and
noise?
lies. Lies told for profit and power. But I see a different America. An America with an unlimited future. An America that's about to take off. I hope you see it as well. Just look around. I believe we could lift America from the depths of COVID. So we passed the largest economic recovery package since Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And today, America's economy is faster, stronger than any other advanced nation in the world. We have more to go. I believe we could build a better America. So we passed the biggest infrastructure investment since President Dwight D. Eisenhower.
W? Actually, a huge W. This when they announced the shit that it actually passed, I was like, oh my lord, actual good president.
And we've now embarked on a decade of rebuilding the nation's roads, bridges, highways, ports, water systems, high-speed
I think
internet,
the big irony
railroads.
is that he's like one of the like
I believe we could make America
controversial
safer.
presidents
So we passed the
ever.
most
He just
significant
like
gun safety law since President
sits
Clinton.
in the White House and does nothing, but at the same time he's
I
enacted some
believe
of the biggest changes
We could go from being the
in the last
highest
few
cost of
presidents.
prescriptions in the world to making prescription drugs and healthcare more affordable. So we passed the most significant healthcare reform since President Obama signed the Affordable Care Act. And I believe we could create a clean energy future and save the planet. So we passed the most important climate initiative ever.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone really cares about
The
the climate
cynics and the
part,
critics tell us nothing can get done.
but it's important, but
they're
there's
wrong.
no immediate effects.
There is
so
not a
it's kinda hard
single
for people
thing
to be
America
excited about it.
cannot do. Not a single thing beyond our capacity if we do it together. It's never easy.
I think people are more excited for the
But we're
infrastructure
proving in
part
America,
and
no
the,
matter how long the road,
the healthcare part.
progress does come. Look, I know the last few years have been tough, but today, COVID no longer controls our lives. More Americans are working than ever. Businesses are growing. Our schools are open. Millions of Americans have been lifted out of poverty. Millions of veterans once exposed to toxic burn pits will now get what they deserve for their families and their compensation. American manufacturers come alive across the heartland, and the future will be made in America.
Are you returning manufacturing to the United States?
No matter what the white supremacists and the extremists say.
Hey, yo. Actually,
I made
something
a bet
exciting.
on you, the American people, and that bet is paying off, proving that from darkness, the darkness of Charlottesville, of COVID, of gun violence, of insurrection, we can see the light. Light is now visible. Light that will guide us forward.
There was a lot of
Not only in words, but in actions. Actions for you, for your children, for your
platitudes,
grandchildren,
but, like,
for America.
he didn't actually say
Even
anything.
in this moment, with all the challenges we face, I give you my word as a Biden, I've never been more optimistic about America's future. Not because of me, but because of who you are. We're going to end cancer as we know it. Mark my words. We're going to create millions of new jobs in a clean energy economy. We're going to think big. We're going to make the 21st century another American century. Because the world needs us to.
Okay, I like the globalism.
That's where we need to focus our energy. Not in the past, not on divisive culture wars, not on the politics of grievance, but on a future we can build together. The MAGA Republicans believe that for them to succeed, everyone else has to fail. They believe America is not like I believe about America. I believe America is big enough for all of us to succeed. And that is the nation we're building, a nation where no one is left behind. I ran for president because I believe we're in a battle for the soul of this nation. I still believe that to be true. I believe the soul is the breath, the life, and the essence of who we are. The soul is what makes us us. The soul of America is defined by the sacred proposition that all are created equal in the image of God.
I like
That
the narrative.
all are entitled to be treated with decency, dignity, and respect. That all deserve justice and a shot at lives of prosperity and consequence. And that democracy must be defended, for democracy makes all these things possible. Folks,
True.
and it's up to us. Democracy begins and will be preserved in we, the people's habits of the heart, in our character, optimism that is tested yet endures, courage that digs deep when we need it, empathy that fuels democracy, the willingness to see each other not as enemies but as fellow Americans. Look, our democracy is imperfect. It always has been.
Dude, what are those horns? Like, oh, there's the third time. What are those for
Notwithstanding
in the
those folks
speech?
you hear on
Is
the
there
other
like an
side there.
ambulance going right now?
They're entitled to be outrageous. This is a democracy.
Wait,
But history and
Please
common
explain.
sense
I missed
is
that.
imperfect. It always has been. Notwithstanding those folks you hear on the other side there. They're entitled to be outrageous. This is a democracy. But history and common sense,
Oh, so like, are there people outside making noise because they don't like him?
good manners is nothing they've ever suffered from. But history and common sense tell us
Good
that
manners is
opportunity,
nothing they've ever
liberty, and
suffered
justice
from.
for all
Okay.
are most likely to come to pass
I
in
like
a
that.
democracy. We have never fully realized the aspirations of our founding,
He's kind of funny
but
sometimes.
every
low-key.
generation has
He's
opened
got
those
something.
doors a little bit wider to include more people who have been excluded before. My fellow Americans, America is an idea, the most powerful idea in the history of the world, and it beats in the hearts of the people of this country. It beats in all our hearts.
You know what is the
It
most
unites
powerful thing in
America.
the world? There's
It is
two
the
Marines
American
behind
creed.
him that still have their
The
hands
idea
together,
that
just
America
standing still.
guarantees that everyone be treated with dignity. It gives hate no safe harbor. It installs in everyone the belief that no matter where you start in life, there's nothing you can't achieve. That's who we are. That's what we stand for.
America,
That's
fuck
what we
yeah.
believe. And that's precisely what we're doing. Opening doors, creating possibilities, focusing on the future. And we're only just beginning. Our task is to make our nation free and fair, just and strong, noble and whole. And this work is the work of democracy, the work of this generation. It is the work of our time, for all time. We can't afford to leave anyone on the sidelines. We need everyone to do their part. So speak up, speak out, get engaged, vote, vote, vote. And if we do our duty in 2022 and beyond, then ages still to come will say, we, all of us here, we kept the faith. We preserved democracy. We heeded our words.
We kept the faith. He hasn't
We
mentioned
heeded
God
not our
once,
worst
though. I
instincts,
think that's
but our better
intentional.
angels.
But he still said we
We-
kept the
we
faith in
proved
respect to the
with all its
Constitution.
imperfections.
It's almost like
America is still the beacon to the world.
a neo-theocratic
An ideal to be
constitution.
realized, a promise to be kept. There's nothing more important,
Rather neo-theocratic
Nothing more sacred.
constitutionalism.
nothing more American.
Gotta add the
That's our
ism.
soul. That's who we truly are. And that's who we must always be. I have no doubt,
He has
none,
no doubt.
that this is who we will
He's
be.
not a doubter.
And that we'll come together as a nation that will secure our democracy. That for the next 200 years, we'll have what we had the past 200 years, the greatest nation on the face of the earth. We just need to remember who we are. We are the United States of America, the United States of America.
The United.
And may God protect our nation, and may God protect all those who stand watch over our democracy. God
Now
bless
he
you
mentions
all.
God.
Democracy. Thank you.
Well, I got so the camera sees. I was doing it with my left hand over here, but the camera couldn't see, so I was mimicking him though. I was mimicking him. Hey yo, hey yo. Joe and Jill getting freaky on camera, bruh. Oh, damn. Hopkins. Hey yo. Look at the Marine's perfect form. Hey. The Marine on the right got a salute, but the one on the left didn't. No. Man, I would be pressed if I was the one on the left. I would be pressed about that. We'll hand over the heart in front of the flag, Giga Chad. Very statesmanlike. They just walk off like into the sunset, like into the flag. Oh, okay. They were just gonna like walk through the flag or something. It would have been epic. Is this like all a set? Was it not actually the building? Why is Mr. E Rich in the comments? Is this a dystopian movie? What do you mean is it dystopian? There was nothing dystopian about that.